starts off with us laughing because we're live.
Every time we come to the shindig, we are surprised about it.
Yes, I missed it last week. I missed the shindig reference. We've got it right out of the gate. Good morning, Shannon. How are
Good
you today?
morning, Jason. You know what? I am feeling so great. It is fall. Here we are, officially in
Yeah,
fall.
it happened really fast. All the leaves have changed pretty much, and pretty crazy.
It is pretty. It's not stopping it from being humid, though.
No, not at all. So, I do want to say from last week's episode, I have reclaimed managing some of my calendar aspects, and it's adding the drive time, like we talked about, to my commute for meetings, which is great. So, thank you for that.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't checked that out, go check out the previous episode and demo Reclaim. So,
Reclaim is awesome. Honestly, it is. It is to me one of the best business tools I have found. Just simply for that little travel notification.
yes, it's very nice. So,
I
what
think
do we
so
got
too.
today? It's you're up. Shannon's up, and we've got a surprise.
I do have a surprise. So I've got a quick one to show you, and then I've got a little surprise that I think everybody is going to find. I think we will find funny, and anybody who's interested in AI will find funny. But it's got a very narrow audience for this type of humor. So we'll get right into it. One of the
Awesome.
things that I always talk about when I talk about AI readiness is, how do you get started with AI? So many people are overwhelmed, and AI feels so big that they can't even imagine where to get started. And I recommend always start with a consumer grade AI, right? So start with something fun. And you remember, Jason, how we started this whole entire series, right?
Yeah, food mood.
Food Mood was a good way to start. And so this one I think is also really fun. And I think that you're going to enjoy this. I think everybody's going to enjoy this because it's something that's so simple, so easy, and truly anyone can jump into this. So if you're your parents' IT person, if you've got a grandma who's interested or an auntie, this is a great place to start. So there's an AI for that, which is one of my favorite places to go fishing for AI tools. I found this without login image generator. So you can create unique images really quickly, and you can describe the image that you want to generate. And the more prescriptive you are, the better your image is going to be. And I think we talk about this all the time, Jason, right? Like, how important is it to write prompts?
Yes, for sure. Prompting is key, especially if you want to get a really good output and make sure it's kind of what you're looking for. So, what are you prompting up here?
Well, I'm going to show an image of two friends in Pittsburgh who really love AI and show people on a live stream how to use new AI tools. I am not sure what this is going to return, Jason, to be honest with you. I was testing this out last night, and I found that the more adjectives you give it, the better it's going to be. So you really just head straight here, and then you click generate, and you can see there's an AI for that, has a little robot hand.
That's pretty cool.
It looks ominous, right?
Yeah. Loading.
So it's letting you know you're in queue, which I think is great. Here we are.
There we go. That's
How
pretty
cool
cool.
and easy was that?
Yeah. You know what I like about this too, because I've used some of these tools that are pretty similar. This automatically gave you a photorealistic or a hyper realistic output. Whereas what I've been noticing a lot with, even ChatGPT and some of the other platforms is it's going to give you this kind of 3D illustration, 2D-esque kind of, almost looks like an oil painting or some of these old Renaissance type paintings,
Yes.
which, for use cases for if you're using image assets for print or for online, then you're sitting there and you're having to re-engage with the language model to try and, get it, Dolly to spit something out. So this looks like it could have been snapped, obviously, on a city sidewalk.
I agree. And, it does vaguely give you an idea that they're in Pittsburgh. It shows
We've got a bridge. We've got a bridge.
we've got a bridge. Jason, give me one more prompt and let's try another one.
Oh, I'd be interested to see, because I was reading about another one just this morning. Let's try a prompt for a product. Let's do like an image for an e-commerce store that sells health and wellness supplements to the fitness industry. So that'd be pretty specific.
I feel like this is a really good prompt, and let's see what it generates for us. I think when you're talking about products, it can think a little bit more. It's using that natural language processing to say, okay, I recognize what a product is, and sometimes it gets very wonky with people, but products I find
Yeah.
look a little bit
Oh,
more
yeah.
direct.
That's
Check
pretty
this
cool.
out.
A little pharmaceutical type style, but you mentioned thinking earlier, and that's kind of what we've seen in the last week or so, even with O1 being released. The reasoning and the ability for these models to start thinking on their own have been pretty crazy. And as a quick side note, Sam Altman from OpenAI, the CEO, just published a blog yesterday, and he's predicting that super intelligence is a mere few thousand days away as compared to decades. And now whether that's hype or obviously there's just so much talk around how fast things are progressing, but it's going to get faster and faster every day, which is pretty cool to keep track of. But so again, this is pretty good. Photorealistic without having to say photorealistic, I think.
Right.
Even is just a simpler step. And to your point earlier too, it's like for anybody entry level that may not understand it completely or just needs something to kind of go, they can just start typing in what they want, and then the reasoning and the thinking kind of gives it a better output than having to reprompt or go and kind of refine those outputs. So it's pretty cool.
I think this one's awesome because it is so clean and simple and easy to use, and it tells you right in its title without login.
So, even better, between you, me, and just day-to-day stuff with the amount of accounts and platforms and software and programs that I'm working in.
Yes.
My Google account login is just connected to so many different things, and my two-factor is running, rampant right now, and I just can't do anything without having to fire up the YouTube app or something else, the Authenticator app. So if anybody's listening out there and wants to create something that helps kind of offset all these logins, I think that would be a good use case for AI. Free product idea right there. Just, single source login. That would be great. Get on that and let me know.
I totally agree. We do see them for enterprise, right? There are plenty of single source logins for enterprise, but personally, it's a little more challenging. Before I show you the surprise that I have, the little bonus that I have, one of the things that I did also want to share with everybody is when you're looking at pictures and you're wondering, is it AI? There are usually little tells. And in this picture, there are plenty of them. We don't have to point out, I think, the things that are spelled incorrectly, but really also if you look at the size and shape of, those look like, do you remember that circus popcorn from when we were kids?
The orange peanuts.
Yes.
Gnawing on styrofoam. Yes.
These look like those orange peanuts mixed with maybe something you'd put in your ear to block the music at a concert.
They do look like earplugs.
This is funny.
You're right, it hasn't nailed down, text and copy, right? It's just kind of some sort of gibberish or, symbols even, which, from afar, right? Like we're looking at this on a screen and you can't really tell.
Right.
There are a lot of tells, plus some of those invisible watermarks that we talked about a few episodes ago.
Absolutely.
So strangely enough, Cloudflare just announced that they're rolling out a either service or platform. I've got to dig into it, that will allow users to kind of opt in to find out which models are scanning and using your data or your information. So it kind of looks to be, it could be like an API type thing. I've got to check it out, but we could maybe even demo that at some point. I think that would be pretty interesting. So we're going to see a lot of that. Yeah, we'll see a lot of.
I think one of the things I do want to say too is, and I know we've got lots of folks joining us on LinkedIn. We do this on LinkedIn and YouTube, and we do it on Twitch every Tuesday morning at 7:45. And if you're joining us from LinkedIn, I would urge you today to go look. There's a new setting in LinkedIn where LinkedIn has auto set you in. They've automatically said, you are giving us permission to use all of your data and content to train our AI model. And so I would recommend everybody who's on LinkedIn to go tell LinkedIn, no, thank you, and toggle that button over to the no.
Yeah, and it's set on automatically. And a lot of people don't know that. I saw that going around as well. So that's a great tip. I think we'll just start seeing a lot more. I mean, look at GDPR and all the consent tools that are needed for cookies and tracking, and how big that has been across, not only in our country, but globally. We're going to have, that's all going to shift into what is the user, what is the individual, what is the organization allowing, what are they providing, right? So there's a whole new set of TNCs and terms that business owners and developers and just even website owners are going to have to kind of tackle here.
It's so true. It's so complex, and I think it's still existing as shadow IT in a lot of organizations where people are using AI, and your IT person may not like or appreciate that sort of thing. So one of the things that Ian Gotts recommends is, first introduce, amnesty. So let people know we have a new policy. We're going to give you some amnesty. Come clean about what you're using, and then we'll figure out how much of our data it's using that we don't want to get out there. And LinkedIn joining into that fray without allowing you to choose to opt in, I think, is a big miss by the platform.
Yeah, absolutely.
So are you ready for the fun one?
I'm ready. What do you got for me?
Okay, so cool. There's an AI for that will allow you to build your own AI, which I think is remarkable. And I built my own last night. Tech Bro Name Generator.
All right. I'm going to show it.
Let's see. Let me switch to this tab. And so you can see I've got a Tech Bro. Let me stop sharing.
Name Generator.
I am so excited about this. I think this is so funny. At least I thought it was really funny. Yeah. I showed it to the people in my house last night, and they didn't think it as funny as I did, but here we go. Again, with the Tech Bro Name Generator, I asked it to create catchy names for stereotypical tech bros. Think about button-down shirts without ties, vest, khakis, people who drink Fernet. So I'm going to say create a Tech Bro name for a guy who is a Salesforce.com AE, attended Dreamforce last week.
All right.
And is really close to hitting his quota for this month. All right. So this is really fun. You can go into there's an AI for that and create your own little AI. They have to be pretty simple, but this is the one that I asked it to create, and it made all of this for me, Jason. It made this banner. It made this little button. How cool is this? Look at this. I've already picked up a user. I just made it last night.
All right.
Woo! Hey, everybody who wants a Tech Bro name. This is something fun probably for your sales meeting. Quota Quinn.
Quota Quinn.
Quota Quinn embodies the quintessential Tech Bro vibe while highlighting his ambition as a Salesforce AE. And you can see it tells you why it chose the name that it chose. And I just think it is so cool. You could create your own AI and do something fun or serious.
The backstory is great too here. This is cool. Great job. I mean, even look, let's just say you have an idea and you want to come try and throw it out there. If this thing's going to help assist you generate something that you can get and test it out and see if it's got legs, I think this is pretty cool. Yeah, there's an AI for that. And can you just while we got you on, let's go to, you have like the front end where we can go browse something else that's out there?
Yeah, definitely. So really when you go to, there's an AI for that, you can find AIs using AI. So let's see if there's a dog name generator. Well, there sure is. There's an awful lot of dog name generators. So this is great. This is a pretty simple way to do it. Generate funny and catchy names for your dog using AI. So I'm typically looking for, something like this when I'm looking. You can search for free. You can say, I want to see ones that are free. You can obviously let's search for sales prospecting, because that's something that I think a lot of people have challenges with. So, here's one that will help you with the task of sales prospecting. They've got 5 AIs that are listed. One of the things I always look at, Jason, is how many people have bookmarked it.
Yeah.
And I look at that in 2 ways. One, if I'm actually thinking about using it myself, I'm looking for one that other people have tested out. But if I'm
Yeah.
looking for one to bring on this show, I'm looking for one that's super low in numbers, because then I have an idea it will be pretty fresh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you can see who's been using it out there if it's got any
Sure. And
traction.
you can also see, how much does it cost? This one's $29 a month. A lot of them have freemium, which is a pretty simple way to promote your SaaS tool in any way. But then it shows you, here's some tasks that are related. Maybe you want LinkedIn prospecting or sales strategies, and it's got loads of different ways that you can find different AIs that will help you with the way that you're trying to accomplish your goals.
That's super cool.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that is fun. Thanks for sharing today. So cool.
Absolutely. So I was excited about this. I was sitting here last night just building a bunch of little AIs, trying to see what I could do.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like the Tech Pro naming. That's pretty cool. Awesome.
That would be fun. Well, Jason, are you going to give us any sort of insight into what we might see next week?
I've got a few queued up as usual. It really comes down to, I'll give you a behind the scenes. It's usually like the day before I start kind of picking which one I want to kind of bring to the forefront, because I'm always tweaking and playing with several throughout the week. So I'm liking the creativity aspect here. So it might be something along those lines. It's always fun. So we can probably do some cool stuff. I don't think we've tackled anything on the video horizon yet. So maybe we can look at some of that. There was some big news with Runway, which is an AI company that partnered with Lionsgate. So they're going to be doing some cool stuff in motion pictures. And it's amazing how the landscape's changing across the board here.
I completely agree. And I think every time I'm prepping for the show, I always think about it all week and then make my decision the night before, because that's how quickly technology is changing, right?
That's basically it too. Then I'll get these emails, or I'll be looking online and it's just like, well, this new thing just came out. And it's like, whoa. So I'm like, the dog with the squirrel analogy, just kind of always kind of checking it out. So that could change by next Monday before we jump on. So we'll have to keep it as a surprise for now. Plus, I think it's a better element of the show as well. So we can.
I totally agree. I love the surprise part. This is great. By next week, we will be headed into brand new Q4. So it's going to be shiny and exciting. We know that we've got lots of friends who are joining us who are in sales or marketing. And so they're always interested in how to become more productive. And then, of course, people who are just into new technology who want to see us unbox something that they maybe haven't seen before.
Absolutely. Cool, Shan. All right. Well, we'll do the thing next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. Bye.